Now, yesterday, the NEO stock closed trading up 9%, which then meant that it closed Friday trading around or at $14.31. Now, this is good news, or this is something that I think to those that invest into the NEO stock like myself, I think it brought some relief, because this is a stock that, if you check from early last year to date, this is a stock that if you had to go and look at their trend, you'll notice that they've been dropping sharply. They've been dropping like crazy, but yet the fundamentals were growing, yet its future prospects are just making more sense, which is something that if you don't check it and go and check the fundamentals and its future prospects, you might think that this is a poor stock. Ladies and gents, when you are panicking, when you and me are panicking and selling this NEO stock, big institutions, big financial institutions continue to be bullish and continue to load the boat onto this NEO stock. Of course, before we get to that, or before I show you some of the wonderful news that we just read from the big institutions as to what have they been doing with their NEO holdings, please know that this video is just an entertainment video and you should not take it as a professional financial advice video. Now, I'll really appreciate if you can just hit that like button if you do enjoy, of course, this video, and subscribe, and of course not forgetting to hit the notification bell when you subscribe. That's if you have not subscribed to the channel already, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Now, as I've said, from early last year of 2021, this NEO stock has been dropping sharply, and yet its fundamentals have been growing much stronger. I mean, for those of you that know NEO, you already know by now that this company in the year 2020, they generated total revenues, or total yearly revenues, of around $2.5 billion, and in 2021 we saw them doubling revenue and reporting total revenues of over 5.5 or around $5.5 billion, which this, or by just this, it just definitely has to show that this is a company that is doing very well. If you have to check revenue wise, they are growing as a company, which then one might have to ask themselves as to why is then their share price has been dropping sharply. Well, NEO, you will remember that early last year they were being impacted by some of the things that were happening in China. I mean, the crackdowns, I mean, of course, the delisting fears, which again also started last year. These were some of the things that are dragging this stock down. I mean, with the crackdowns, of course, we know that though it did not have much impact on a stock like NEO, but delisting fears, it's one of the main things that was, or that continues to weigh in seriously and drag this NEO stock down, which getting to know that we might be receiving wonderful news, good news from both the Chinese and the US regulators is something that, of course, makes us to remain positive. And the fact that, of course, the big institutions, big financial institutions continue loading onto this stock, it is something that must just show you that there is no way you would find an institution like BlackRock owning or disclosing that right now they just increased their holdings on NEO by almost 80%. I mean, this BlackRock company, I don't think they are crazy. They would just throw in, I mean, this current 115 million NEO shares that they have right now, which, by the way, like I said, 80% of these shares they accumulated just recently. These are the shares that they just acquired recently, because in February we had read that this company owns about 64 million shares, and getting to see that now they own about 115 million NEO shares, it is something that must just show you that when you are panicking, this company continues to load the boat. I mean, those 64 million shares were valued around $2 billion, and now, or right now, these 115 million shares are valued around $2.4 billion, which is just something that must just show you that there is no way that a company like BlackRock can invest or buy NEO ADR shares knowing very well that they are going to be delisted. I don't think there's a company that can spend this much on a stock like NEO knowing very well that they are going to be delisted, which is something that I personally believe that it should definitely open up your eyes to say that NEO is not going anywhere in the New York Stock Exchange. NEO, it is going to remain listed in the stock exchange. In fact, many of the Chinese stocks are going to be continue or remain listed, which is something that also masses to motivate you to probably do the same and load the boat onto this NIO stock. I mean, same with Morgan Stanley. They also increased their holdings on NIO recently by 116%. As you know that in February, Morgan Stanley had disclosed that they had around 6.6 million shares. And ladies and gents, like I said, that was back in February. Now they have disclosed that they have over 14 million shares of NIO, which is something that must just show you that when you are panicking, these big financial institutions continue to load the boat onto these stocks because they know that NIO is not going anywhere. NIO is not going to get delisted together with most of the Chinese stocks, which is something that must just show you that these short-term headwinds that is surrounding these Chinese stocks, ADRs, are definitely going to leave these companies very soon. As you know that we read, or the Chinese regulators have been sort of like coming us down and saying that they believe that they will find a solid ground with the US regulators, which, ladies and gents, it is something that must motivate you to probably stay long onto this NIO stock and take this low trading price as an opportunity for you to load the boat. Now, the last article, of course, where we read of a big investor investing in NIO is, of course, of Mr. Soros, who of course sold or reduced his stakes on Rivian and buy some NIO and Lucid shares. Now again, this just simply has to show you that these Chinese stocks like NIO are going to do very well in the future, which is why these big fishes, big guns, big financial institutions are continuing to load the boat onto these stocks. When you and me are panicking and selling our shares, they continue loading or buying these stocks, which is something that is truly amazing and must just motivate you to do the same and not panic when you see the NIO stock price going down, but instead load the boat or increase your holdings so that at least you can bring your average purchase share price onto this NIO stock down. Otherwise, I just thought I should just give you this quick video telling you what the big fishes are doing on this NIO stock, which overall in the market, I believe that not just looking on NIO, but all the companies, when they are dropping, I think you should take opportunities, especially those companies that they have got some good and strong fundamentals. You have to go in and load the boat so that you bring your average purchase share price down. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please do make sure that you hit that likes button, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Otherwise, you know that this video was just like I said in the beginning of this video, an entertainment video, and you should not take it as a professional financial advice. And otherwise, that gets us to the end of this video, and I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you all.